Welcome back. If you are doing this in one day, you are probably exhausted. I did this in one day and I'm exhausted. So let's wrap this thing up. Keeping track of our outline, we have done parts 1 and 2, and we are going to round this out with a nice, easy land for this power-packed module. Let's take a look at our string function tool belt. So the first function that we went over was cast. What cast does is it allows us to change our column to a different type. And here are some different examples that you can do with cast. So we can change our column from whatever it is. We can change it to a string, we can change it to an integer, we can change it to a float, we can change it to a date. And so basically what this does is it just changes your data type to a new data type. And we need to do this a lot with our string data or even our number data to make sure when we're trying to combine tables and match things up that everything is the same. So this is something that doesn't seem super important now, but once we get into more advanced topics, it's going to really come in handy. We have concat. Concat, just like in Excel, if you're familiar, this combines multiple columns together. So we just start our function concat, and then we just list all the columns that we want together. So in this case, we could do concat couch2, comma, coders, and what this would give us would be couch to coders with no spaces in between. We went over our left and our right functions. This is something that allows us to chop up a string based on what position the character is. So in this case, we could do left on couch and only keep the first two. And so the first two on couch is CO, so this will return CO. Likewise, we could do right on couch and only keep the last two, going from right to left instead of left to right. And that would only keep CH. Like, Mr. Like is one of the most important ones that you really want to keep in your mind. Like allows us to search on things that contain any kind of character or word that we want. So I could say in my data, anywhere column 1 is like couch, return that. So then I could get sofa couch, couch potato, couches, couch decoders, couch-ish, anything that has those letters inside it, it's going to return. And so that's something that you can do when you don't want to have to think of every single combination that someone could have thought of with couch. We can just do our little wild card with like. Upper and lower. Again, this is something similar to cast where a lot of times we need to do this with columns so that we can make it match our other data sets. We have LPAD. This is going to add a leading 0 or a character or a series of characters. And most of the time when I do this, I'm using it for a leading 0 with a zip code. So that's the example that I gave here. So I would have my string of 4956, but I want it to always have 5 characters. So I put in the 5, and then I put in what, if there's a missing character, what should be filled in instead. And so that should be, instead of 4956, it should be 04956. And trim. Trim is our handy dandy guy who will remove any hidden spaces on the front end or the back end. So that wraps up this module. To go over all of the things that we went over, we learned what data cleaning is. Strings are our most common data offenders. We learned basic string manipulation functions, and here's a link to all of the BigQuery string functions that are already built in. I'm not going to go over it like I did in the last one, but all you have to do is click this link and then you can just filter through and find what you need. So with that, that wraps up the module. Great work. I will see you next time. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would be so appreciative if you could like the video and subscribe to help me create more content for you. Thank you.